So with me, I have Raymer Johnson, who is a junior honors finance major in the Howard School of Business. I have Amari Patterson, junior marketing major at Howard University. Joel Danton, who is a junior accounting major at Howard University. And Cameron O'Neill, junior finance major at Howard University. Guys, shine away.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, investors, and welcome to The Crossing, an exciting new development in the Humber Bay Shores community where Mr. Christie's Cookie Factory once stood. The Humber Bay Shores community is known for its stunning waterfront views, its vibrant community, as well as its proximity to downtown Toronto. Our team, Mecca Realty, is excited to share with you this thrilling new mixed-use development that will transform the Humber Bay community. Investors, please stay tuned as we will share with you why this is a smart investment choice and what sets The Crossing apart. Now I'm going to introduce the team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amari Patterson. I'm a junior marketing major from Chicago, Illinois, and I currently attend Howard University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Denton. I'm a junior accounting major from Boston, Massachusetts, by way of Jamaica.
Good afternoon. My name is Raymer Johnson. I'm a junior honors finance major from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And my name is Cameron O'Neill, a junior finance major from Columbus, Ohio. Now, for what will be covered today, we're going to start with an executive summary, which will be followed by our development plan, a market summary, the financials, and then we'll open the floor up for any Q&A. The Crossing will be a mixed-use development that will incorporate 3 uses: retail, life sciences, as well as an alternative transportation hub. We estimate that our project cost will be around $314 million, and we are projecting a levered IRR of around 18%. This project will be community-focused, ESG-driven, and feature alternative transportation. Next, I'm going to pass it to Amari to talk about our site today.
Thanks, Cam. So currently, our site resides within a zoning district that is specifically tailored to industrial and employment use. Our proposed rezoning plan seeks to establish a new special mixed-use zoning district, essentially respecting the past of Humber Bay while bringing The Crossing into the future. So let's jump into our development plan. At full build-out, The Crossing will include 900,300 rentable square feet. It'll essentially have an abundance of community amenities, state-of-the-art lab space, which is highlighted in blue. In yellow, you'll see our retail hub. In orange is our brewery. In red is our 2-story transit hub. In green is our designated outdoor space, which is all connected and made accessible by a network of green space and walkable street corsos, which is highlighted in purple, which essentially allow the community at Humber Bay to connect at The Crossing. So in establishing our plan, it was important for us not only to meet the needs of the community and the city, but also to merge our plan with the existing skyline. So if you look at the bottom left rendering, you'll see the natural cascade-like runoff of building height in the existing Humber Bay community. So our plan essentially is to respect and emphasize the existing transition through a careful allocation of building height. And because our plan doesn't include massive towers, our plan itself is contentious adverse for building high, resulting in the quickest track to receiving zoning change approval. So lab space is a huge portion of our plan, right? So our team identified that there was an increasing demand of lab space in the area. Daniel Lacey, Associate VP of CBRE, says there's 3.5 million square feet of unmet lab space demand in the Greater Toronto Region area alone. This creates a huge opportunity for our team as there is virtually no vacancy in the market. Of the Greater Toronto Hamilton areas, 12.3 million square feet of inventory, only 0.2% is vacant. I'll say that again in case you missed that. Only 0.2% is vacant. In addition, there's a scarcity of multi-tenant lab facilities in the area. And lab space demand represents 141 times what's currently available in the market. Lab space at The Crossing will meet the needs of this growing market, as this space was specifically established to be the premier lab space in the area, offering boutique-sized suites for growing and innovative tenants. Our building will total 900,000 square feet. The total rentable square footage will be 783,000, and 750 square feet. We'll also include 2 floors of subgrade parking. In addition, our team was really determined to incorporate ESG initiatives in this project. So our lab space will offer a circular energy infrastructure, and our lab space was specifically designed to maximize energy efficiency by reducing operating costs. So we understand the importance of including both thermal comfort into the conceptualization of the building itself. So let's jump into our lease assumptions. As mentioned previously, we're boutique focused, so our tenant size will be ranging from 10,000 to 70,000 square feet. In addition, we won't be targeting big pharma tenants or, like Pfizer. So our tenant base will be between, Rousseau Tech and Deep Genomics. To the right, you'll see a mock-up of our building stack. And to stay competitive, we'll be leasing for $100 a square foot, providing 3 to 6 months of free rent depending on the tenant size, and also $10 million of TI. Now I'll pass it over to Joel.
Thank you, Amari. Now, why retail? Retail is a smart investment due to its growing population, strong economy, access to transportation as well, and we also want to focus on the fact that we are connected to the waterfront. So we have done extensive research on the market demographic, and we do realize that the Humber Bay Shore community, it's growing, thus creating a high demand for local amenities. And the fact that it's near the waterfront is going to be attracting different customers to shop and dine at the different retail options that's going to be available at the crossing. The crossing will feature 18,200 square feet of retail options for the surrounding local community, and on the opposite side of the lot, we'll also be developing a brewery. And the reason why we're developing a brewery is because there's been a growing craft industry demand, especially in Humber Bay. So the goal of the crossing is to create a dynamic town center that will cater to a diverse population. And essentially, we want to focus on an eclectic mix of independently owned boutiques, as well as international brands and restaurants that will reflect the diversity from the community. Overall, we want to create a unique experience and a welcoming atmosphere for all the different residents of Humber Bay. Now, introducing you all to the green. So the green will be a 12,600 square feet of green space. So whenever you want a change of scenery from the office, or you just want to break a new view, you could come to the green. So we'll literally be having a park, an amphitheater, a mini golf, and this will create additional recreational opportunities and additional source of revenue. Now onto the most important and exciting part of our investment presentation. We'll be having an innovative transportation hub called Link Station. So we do realize that there has been significant congestion as well as traffic issues that has been burdened in Humber Bay. So to alleviate this, we came up with a plan, and we'll be having a 2-story, 15,000 square feet full-service transit hub and a GO station as well as a TTC streetcar route. So whenever you want to break from the city or you just want to venture to the city, Link at the crossing. Now, let's go over to our timeline. So our timeline will span over a 4.5-year period. Our first process will obtain our zoning, and this will take 6 months. Our second part of our timeline will break ground on our transit hub. And it's important to note that this will be our first part of our project because we've been working with the city and the local municipalities and the governmental entities to ensure that we enhance the economic outlook of the area because we are bounded by 2 expressways and we have a lot of traffic issues. So our third part of our project will have a retail construction as well as a brewery construction, which I mentioned earlier, and a green space construction. All 3 simultaneously taking 12 months. For our last part of our timeline, we'll be having a lab construction, thus taking 24 months. Our team have properly planned our timeline to ensure that everything runs efficiently. Now I'd like to pass it off to Cam, who will break down the market.
Thank you, Joel. Now that my team has told you what we plan to bring to the Humber Bay Shores community, I want to talk to you about why you would like to be positioned in this market. So for the overall Toronto market, as you can see, the post-high school education rate is around 41%, an employment rate of around 94%, and an average household income of about $109,000 a year. For our market, which is Humber Bay Shores, we have a post-high school education rate of about 44%, showing that we have a highly educated population. We have an employment rate of around 94%. And as you know, previously mentioned, there is a growing population in the area. That population growth will translate into job growth, which translates into wage growth. And as you can see, we have an average household income in the area of around $93,000 a year. In addition, Humber Bay has an opportunity for capital appreciation, it has population growth, and rental growth. I'd like to focus on the growing population. As you can see, over the past 3 years, the population has grown by a rate of about 12.2%. This is a deeper dive into the makeup and demographics of the Humber Bay Shores community. Here you can see that there is a wide range of age groups, and we intend to meet that with the demand that will be at the crossing. For transportation, it has a walk score of 74, a transit score of 78, and a royalty score of 95, which is unique to Canada. Although we understand the walk score may be a little low, Humber Bay Shores is a very walkable community. There are a number of walking trails throughout. And with a transit score of 78, we seek to increase that with the implementation of our transit station, Link. There's been an influx of current residential development in the area. As you can see, just over 7,000 residential units are going up around the crossing. Since there is a surplus of supply, we plan to meet that surplus with demand drivers at the crossing. Now I'm going to pass it to Ramir to talk numbers.
Thanks, Cam, for the market data. Now let's talk financials. So some of our key financial assumptions include a $44 million site acquisition cost and a 4.5% entry capitalization rate. We also included a $600 construction cost per rentable square foot and a construction timeline of about 52 months. We also have a maximum of 6 months office free rent concessions for our tenants who have the largest and the longest leases. Next slide. As you can see in this pie chart, the majority of our development costs of our $313 million, $759,628 budget is for the construction of the crossing. Next would be the acquisition of the land, followed by general and admin expenses, any interest expense, and any cost contingencies in case anything were to go awry during the construction of the crossing. Our projected returns for this project are a whopping 18.12% levered with an equity multiple of 1.89. Comparatively, our unlevered returns are 13.23% with an equity multiple of 1.39. Now let's talk about the capital structure. So, as you can see on this slide, the majority of our source of capital comes from debt. We plan to fundraise the rest of the 39.8% of equity, or $1.25 million, through the capital raising through investors or third seed funding. Next slide, please. As you can see on this slide, this is our permanent financing, which will be calculated by our refinanced stabilized loan at stabilization in year 7. Our annual loan payments are about $26.4 million with a fixed interest rate of 6.5%. Now I'll pass it to Joel to talk about any risk of the crossing.
Thank you, Ramir. So for our development plan, it's not without risk, but we have highlighted 3 important mitigants to those risks. Our first risk is our regulatory. We know that our project can be complex, but we are working strongly with the different local municipalities. So our mitigant is literally to fulfill the community and stakeholder obligations with a non-contentious plan. Our second risk is our financial risk, but to mitigate this, we'll be financing justified by our growing lab market. Our third risk that we would like to highlight is our market risk. We do understand that we are in a recessionary environment, interest rates are rising, but to mitigate this, we have a solid lease-up plan and renovations that will have solid impact financing. Now on to the key points. Investors, we want to leave you guys with 3 key takeaways from our investment opportunity. So the crossing provides a space to connect in a vibrant, rapidly growing community. And our second point is that the crossing meets municipal and stockholder needs. Our third point that we want to leave you guys with is that the crossing acts as an economic catalyst by providing supply for in-demand markets. Investors, thank you for considering Mecca Realty for your investment needs. Join us in our community to create a thriving atmosphere for our residents. So let's get ready to connect at the crossing.
We would love to field any questions, so feel free.
Hi, Team 4. Everything about your presentation, in my mind, was outstanding. I really enjoyed it. I'm an architect at Gensler, and I'll share some thoughts from that perspective. Mm-hmm. Your visuals were terrific. I mean, they were compelling, they drew interest, and they helped with your analysis and how you built up your case, right? And the information you shared really made a strong story for why you were doing what you were doing. And I think it was compelling. I think, I'm not one of the investors, but I would recommend investing. I think you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I echo that. The presentation was exquisite. The fly-throughs were great. Like you said, as you kind of went through your presentation, it kind of helped build up the story. You did a very clear sources and uses. Thank you. Your market analysis was done very well. You explained the why. I tell my students in class, it's important to say why this is a good idea, right? What's the kind of undertone for why this investment is going to work? You guys had a slide specifically talking about that. You guys also put in the cap rate. I thought was a little aggressive. And I did like your key takeaways at the end that it kind of left me with like what you think is the most important point, what I should walk away with. I like that you put that at the very end. So good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to add too much more to that, but it was a well thought out argument, and I thought really the lab space was creative and original, and the fact that you then, to your point about the why, that you're addressing, you're stating the problem, and then you're saying why your project will address that. And I think that's exceptional, so well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, just echoing everything that's been said, I thought it showed a clear understanding of the dynamics that you were coming into and how you were going to address that. I really appreciated seeing the story of the life of the investment. I want to see how this is going to, over the hold period. I thought that was very useful. Great job. Thank you.